Protests have broken out in various cities in Uganda. This is after main opposition candidate Robert Kyagulanyi, who's also known as Bobi Wine, was arrested. Several people have been injured and others are feared to be dead after clashes with the police. Bobi Wine is campaigning in Uganda's presidential elections. He's been detained at the high security jail in Eastern Uganda. Right now, we have this report from Hilary Isika, who is reporting from Kampala.
Bobi Wine is currently being held at Nalufenya Detention Center in Uganda's eastern city of Jinja. His arrest sparked riots in several parts of the country, including the capital, Kampala. Police used tear gas and live rounds to disperse Bobi Wine supporters who are demanding for his release. Rights groups are also calling for his immediate release from detention. Bobi Wine's arrest came moments after the Ugandan police issued strict guidelines for campaigns. Officials say he's being held for flouting COVID-19 guidelines that forbid large gatherings. Bobi Wine's campaign events have attracted large crowds, prompting security operatives to block his rallies, citing coronavirus restrictions. Hilary Isiga, SABC News, Kampala, Uganda.
Well, as you've heard in that insert with the arrest of Bobi Wine, we're now joined by the Secretary General of the People Power National Unity Platform, David Lewis, to speak to us about the arrest of Bobi Wine. Good evening, David, and welcome to African Perspective. What can you tell us about the arrest so far?
Thank you so much for having me, and I can tell you that Bobi Wine, as I speak, is still under detention at Nalufenya police detention facility. And he was arrested earlier on in the day. He has been denied access to his lawyers, to his medical team, and all other people have not been allowed to see him as yet. As you rightly said, the police and military are claiming to enforce COVID-19 regulations, which we do not see being implemented when it comes to Museveni, who has been in power for 35 years. His people, his supporters have been gathering in thousands, and they are paid money and given free T-shirts, and then to come to the streets and converge and pretend to support him and that kind of thing. So these are double standards that we're talking about, and clearly the detention of Bobi Wine is not about COVID-19. It's just a pattern, the continuing repression, persecution, and oppression of the opposition in Uganda.
Okay, so then would you then agree, though, that particular gathering did break the COVID-19 regulations that have been put in place?
Yeah, like I said, the COVID-19 regulations, Museveni, like all dictators on the continent and other is instrumentalizing COVID-19, using COVID-19 as a pretext to oppress and crush his opponents. He has no interest whatsoever in fighting COVID-19, because if he had any interest, he wouldn't be gathering crowds, he wouldn't be paying people to attend his rallies. And so, in Uganda's context, markets are open, taxi parks are open, churches are open to a very big extent, and people gather in hundreds, if not thousands. So we've been objecting to the idea that the country can be open and people are basically going about their normal lives and meeting thousands, and then all of a sudden he claims that he's trying to enforce COVID-19 regulations. It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Okay. Would you then also say that within Uganda, as we head into the 2021 elections, that there is a suppression of dissenting voices?
Yes, please, come again.
Sorry, did you get that, David?
Hello?
I was asking that...
I missed the last question.
So I was asking that would you say that currently, as campaigning is starting ahead of the 2021 elections, that would you say that as the elections are as we head to the elections in 2021 and the campaigning thereof, that there is a dissenting voice and there's a clamping down of those dissenting voices?
Of course, certainly, Museveni is just trying to cramp down on the opposition. He has always done, and for example, as you know, Bobi Wine has not been able to perform in Uganda for the past 2.5 years. His music shows were blocked. When Bobi Wine declared that he was going to run for president, he was blocked from carrying out consultations, even when they are provided by the laws of Uganda. he has been tear gas. Church services have been tear gas because he has been attending them, or whatever activity he has tried to do outside his home has been disrupted by the police. He has been blocked from attending radio stations, TV shows outside Kampala. So certainly what we see is just a continuing kind of repression, especially now that we are approaching an election, which Bobi Wine is poised to win significantly if it was fair and fair. And I think the government is extremely scared. That's what they're doing.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's David Lewis there joining us from Uganda. African Perspective continues after this.